Did y'all miss us? Because we sure missed you. Look, watch, like, and subscribe to our channel at Sister Sis 1988, as well as follow us on all our social media platforms at Sister Sis 1988. We are so excited to be coming back to you today. We have a wonderful guest on here today with us all the way from Seattle, Washington. Yes, yes, yes. So, introduce myself, and then I'll let our guest introduce herself. I'm Jamie.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Calandra.
And I'm Ruth.
Ruth, I'm going to hand you the mic and let you give our audience a small summary of who you are, and then we'll jump into these questions.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Oh, it's morning in Seattle. And I'm a mom to 3 daughters. I have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, and in about 2 weeks, I'm walking into another high school graduation. So that's a lot for me, and all the things that go around that. And then off to college, right, in August. So that has been very busy for me. And I also have a business. It's called On Purpose L3, and it's where I help individuals, teams, leaders learn how to live on purpose, lead on purpose, and learn on purpose. So thank you for having me.
Well,
thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much, and congratulations on those 3 girls. And is this the last graduation, or
no? I still have a teen. I have a soon to be junior. So
okay. So one more to go.
That's right.
You're busy. You're busy.
Yay. Okay.
All right. So Ms. Ruth, I know you have a passion for helping everyone find their purpose. So please tell us, how do you help women step into their purpose?
Thank you for having me today, because I really love sharing with women. One of the things that I found, I just give it a little history. I started my business officially in 2020, but I always say I kind of launched in March of 21 after the pandemic. And I was helping individuals who were in leadership. So whether they were a CEO, or they were leading a small business, or maybe even just being a board member, I was helping different people do different things. And so what happened was I had 2 or 3 women that I was helping. And all of a sudden I realized, as I'm coaching them through whatever situation they're in, I realized that they didn't really know why they were doing what they were doing. And they were really lost without a purpose. And so I began to help them. And the result of it was them getting different jobs. And then I began to think, I bet there's a lot more women out there that are they're in the same spot. Mm-hmm. And so I put together a group of women, and I said, listen, I want to chat with you about this. And so I began to start a program, which today I have put into a 6-month coaching program that is built to help women to step into their purpose. And it specifically walks them through so that whatever stage you start at, by the time you're done, you know where you're going and how you're going.
Okay. So Ms. Ruth, when did you discover your purpose, and how did it change you?
Thank you for that question, because I love answering this one, because my purpose is continuously added to itself. So I'm actually an ordained minister, and I spent a lot of time in my late teens, early 20s, trying to decide what my purpose really was. And so I ended up going to seminary, have a master's of divinity degree, and I spent 20 years in ministry, and it was exciting. It was wonderful, and I really felt like God had sent me there. And then when my kids were toddlers, those of you who are moms, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It was too overwhelming. I was overwhelmed as a mom. And then on top of that, I'm like overwhelmed. I can't do my job. I've been doing it for a long time. I couldn't do it like I did, right?
Right.
So I just quit, right? Never managed it. Nobody had bad feelings. And I went into that because I thought, I'll go back. Well, I got to a place where I was not, I was just like, what am I supposed to do? So again, I believe that when you open the door, you have a key and it opens. And I believe that you step into your purpose of what you're created for. But sometimes, and I think actually for every person, if you desire to continue to grow and to become all that you were meant to be, It's not just one door.
Mm-hmm.
And as we grow and we become who I believe that the creator of this universe has made us, we're here on this earth for a purpose. And we open that door. And then what do you know? You go into a room, there's another door. Now, the only way you can open that other door is to get the key, right? And so then you open the door again. So where I am today, if you had said this at when I was 22, graduating from college, I'd been like, I don't think so, right? But today I have found my purpose and I continue to unlock the doors.
All right. Okay.
Great.
So how do you help moms understand their purpose outside of their kids?
Thank you. I love that question because this 6-month coaching program I just put together and I just launched was really specifically aimed at women whose kids are teenagers, young adults, and maybe it's because I walked through this place myself. I think that for a lot of us, we kind of go through life and trying to get kind of what society tells us to get, right? The car, the house, the kids, the stuff. And women just they're okay with that, right? And so we just kind of walk in and we're happy, right? We're happy being a mom, we're happy being married, we're happy all that stuff. But once our kids get to a certain age, and for every person I believe it's a little bit different, is once they get to the certain age, you begin to go, what's next for me? Like it's almost like you're at a dead end, but it's not, you don't feel like you're at a dead end. You feel like kind of like you're at one of those forks in the road. And you can't see where the right side goes or the left side goes. And when women get there, what happens is that you're just about to approach empty nest syndrome, or you're already there, right? And so you're feeling this emptiness, but you're not quite sure why, because maybe you have a job and you're like, I've had this job for 10 years. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And I believe that women get to this place, and where I believe that I can help women, because we just get there and we go, what's my purpose?
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
I feel like Calandra can relate to that. She's about to have an empty nest.
Yeah. And it feels different. So my son just graduated. I'm the only one that actually has a child. I have one son. And so we just graduated here a couple of weeks ago. And so he's getting ready to, head off to college and things like that. And he's teenage, and he's been teenage, of course, for some time, but it was different. Like when I get off of work, I feel like I'm obligated to come home, even though he's able to take care of himself. He can drive, things like that. But like, I'm like, now what am I going to do with myself? Because to me, I feel like I don't have to come home and remind anybody about homework. I'm free. I feel free, but then I also feel like, okay, what's next? What's the next step?
Right.
Yeah.
No,
that's exactly what I feel. What's the next step?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And women without kids can feel the same emptiness. It's not, not necessarily, it's just that when you talk about that, as well as I do, that emptiness is a hole in your heart. Yeah. And you're like, where'd that come from? Right. Mm-hmm. Because your kid's still your kid. Mm-hmm. But we all have that emptiness. And it comes to us at different times. That's the reason why I don't like to say, oh yeah, when you're 40, it's like you're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? You can get that feeling when you're 35, right? You can get it when you're 25 too, but oftentimes women are like, I'm getting the car, I'm getting the house, and then they just don't feel that emptiness until you get to the end of that road. So
right.
Just don't get a dog, friend. She thought about getting a dog.
Somebody's gonna have to help me with that one, with the dog.
Well, okay, I just had to tell this little story too, because my 16-year-old, okay, so some people would be like, you're not an empty nest, you still got a kid in high school. I'm in the same boat as you are, because my 16-year-old gets up every morning and she gets herself off and she drives, right? So this has just happened in the last 3 months that she turned 16 and she's driving. Mm-hmm. And so she goes at 7:30 and I never see her till 6. Right. I mean, like I have no responsibilities in a sense, because she does her homework all on her own. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can relate to that one for the most part. But I think I still mentally felt like that responsibility to make sure that was done, because he was driving and everything pretty much his junior and senior year. But now we're at the end. I'm honestly feeling like, okay, what's next? What do I do next here? And I just turned 40 at the same time. So then I'm like, oh Lord, what do I really do with myself?
I swear, turning 40 makes you go, oh, okay. I mean, I did for me, and
same here for me.
Good about it though. Now for me, as far as an empty nest, it's a possibility I could get ready to have a permanent baby in my home. So I don't know. I'm 40 and you getting ready to try to take this responsibility. So I'm not empty nothing. I don't know if I felt it. But now, if anything, right now, I'm trying to make sure that that's something that I'm going to be able to successfully do. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was on that other end where somebody was leaving and going on about their business and going on and starting their life, you know, but that's not the case. So I do kind of sometimes give a lot of props to a lot of moms because, you know, you do for 18 years, 17, 18 years, you know, you're taking care of, and my friend, one little person, and in your case, 3. You know, as you know, it is amazing and it is beautiful though. Once you look up and you see, hey, I did that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You did. Yeah, you did.
Totally, totally. And you know, and then again, I think that that's where you know, in today's world, I don't think age is really the thing, right? And
No.
because it's all about a different circumstances that you're in. And
Yes.
when we understand our purpose, because really the key that to unlock the door is to understand the purpose for why you were created to live on this earth. That's it. And you know, and I think that we like are face to face with that when we feel empty and lonely.
Yes.
So how when you're coaching, you know, the ladies and they're get to that point and they're feeling that way, what do you usually do? How do you usually advise them to kind of work through that
Oh,
stage?
yeah, that's great question. Because basically the way I start is we talk about awareness and like, where are you right now? Right. And there's 2 things that you have to do. Every woman. So anyone that's listening to this and you're not doing this, I'm just going to advise you to do this. You got to start to journal. And so, oh, let me tell you, I got
Yep.
women who I can't journal. And this
Yes, you
one,
can.
yes, but it's a growth process. And that's what you have to embrace. You have to embrace your growth. And I think for this one mom I got, and she's a couple years older than me. She's at you know, her kids are graduating from college and getting married and all that. Little different stage than me. And her daughter has the most amazing journals. And she showed them to me. And I said, well, okay, let me see yours. And she's like, I don't do it. I said, what do you mean you don't do it? And she goes, no, I hate journaling. I said, okay, we're gonna hit this straight on. You gotta get a journal and you're gonna find a time. I didn't say you had to do it every day. I didn't say it had to be for 15 minutes. I said, write something down. It's gonna be a sentence. And you do it, you know, get up with your coffee, write a sentence. Very good. That's my 2 cents.
I think the best part of journaling is going back to see what you wrote after time has passed. Yeah, because I do.
I agree. I agree on that one.
Yep. To see how much you've evolved. Yep, it's important.
Yep.
So for me, Ms. Ruth, my question, what tools do you use to help equip women to find their purpose? So what are the tools that you're teaching them?
Okay, so one of the things is that I take them through stages, right? And so, okay, so how we do it, the 6 months, is I have recorded 12 sessions. And so when you go through my coaching program, you're going to be meeting with me once a week for the coaching part, but you're going to have to watch 12 sessions. So that's why I do it over 6 months. You only have to watch a session once every 2 weeks because we get busy and we don't do it. And I have homework, right? So it's not huge, but little things that to help you to grow because you got to think about it. Because here's the problem is that if you don't think about it, you're not going to grow. And so you have to make an intentional effort to grow. And you have to make an intentional effort to come to awareness of where you're at. So we start off talking about your identity and your own self-worth. Because here's another problem that us women have is that we often think that our self-worth is tied to the things we've done, our job, our kids, the things we own. Nope. So I take a whole session and talk about your self-worth. And then I make you go back and, you know, analyze it. Think about it. Like, where are you getting your self-worth from? And then we begin to take a deep dive into that. So.
Okay, well, Miss Ruth, we're going to end here and tell you again, thank you so much. We are going to come back and bring it to our audience and keep picking your brain on this purpose that you found within yourself and how it's helping other women. So,
until next time,
there's strength in sisterhood
and support in sisterhood. Bye.
bye.
Bye.